You're creating great content on social media, and now you want brands to take notice of the amazing work that you produce. In today's video, we are going to talk all about how to set yourself up for success so that brands will notice you on Instagram, and if you play it right, you might even find ways to partner with them later down the road. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Austen and I am a fashion and beauty content creator based in New York City. My channel is all about helping small creators and micro-influencers create great content, grow their digital brands, and also generate sustainable income from social media. So if that interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel. I put out new videos every Tuesday, and you can even turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a video from me. I've been a digital content creator for over 9 years now, and I've gotten to work with some amazing brands over the last few years. And I have to say, a surprising number of these relationships with brands did start just with conversations on social media. Today, I'm going to be sharing some tips and best practices that have personally helped me get noticed by brands on Instagram that I think will help you too. So let's get started. Before you even start creating content or thinking about what you want to post, I want to take a step back and think about this from the big picture. So what is your goal when you are wanting brands to notice you on Instagram? For example, do you want to end up on their PR list? Do you want to become an affiliate for this brand? Do you want to attend events that this brand hosts? Or do you ultimately want to work on a brand partnership with them? And it's okay if you want to do a couple of those things or all of those things, but by establishing your goal in advance, you're going to set yourself up for success because you'll understand the intention behind your content creation and behind all of the other steps that I'm going to talk about in this video. Once you decide on your goal, then you can move into thinking about what type of content you want to create on Instagram. Now, there are lots of different types of content you can create on Instagram. You have regular in-feed posts, you have Instagram video, which is now IGTV and your feed videos, kind of filtered into one category. I'll share a screenshot of my Instagram feed, and you'll see that the IGTV tab is no longer there. It's just a play button, and that's Instagram video. So if you didn't know about that, that has now been condensed. If you haven't seen that update yet, maybe it's still being rolled out to you, or you want to make sure your app is up to date, but that is the new format for video on Instagram. Then, of course, there is Instagram Reels, which has been huge for creators in the last few years. There are Instagram Stories, which are one of my favorite things to create on the platform, and there's also Instagram Live. But when you're thinking about these 5 main types of content that you can create on Instagram, you should be thinking about 2 things. First and foremost, you want to think about what is your audience enjoying and responding to. So if you've been creating content consistently for about 6 months, you can go into your Instagram analytics and check out your data. Check out your audience insights and analytics. Look for the posts, I would say, that have the most reach, the most saves, and the most shares, because that's the content that your audience is really engaging with. Obviously, you can do a mini audit of your content, take note of what's worked well, and create more content like that that your audience loves. But the other thing I think is super important to factor into this is, what content do you enjoy creating the most? Are you still on team photo and you haven't quite gotten into Instagram Reels yet? That's totally okay. Or maybe you love Instagram Reels so much that you barely post still images anymore. So just think about what type of content brings you the most joy to create, because obviously you want to create things that your audience will love and respond to, but at the end of the day, especially if this is something you want to do full time, it still needs to be fun, it still needs to be creative, and it still needs to speak to your strengths as a content creator. So once you've established your goal for why you want brands to notice you, and you've thought about what type of content you'll be interested in creating, the next thing that I would recommend doing is making a list of your dream brand partners. I'm personally a big fan of telling other people about your goals and aspirations in order to hold yourself accountable. So if you feel so inclined to, please leave a comment down below under this video about who your dream brand partner is. I would love to have you guys think back 6 months from now and be like, oh yeah, I commented on Austen's video that like L'Oreal was my dream brand partner and now I'm working with them. I mean, that would just be very cool. So yes, make a list of your dream brand partners. Maybe think about just 10 to start out with, and then we're going to do a little bit of research into those brands and their Instagram pages. There are 4 things I want you to be on the lookout here when you're looking through the Instagram profiles of your dream brand partners. First and foremost, look at what type of content they create. So look at their professionally shot images, look at any of their ad campaigns or any content that they're creating to promote new products. Just kind of go through and get a feel for not only the style, but what the medium is as well, like whether it's photo or video, or if they have a ton of saved story highlights and they seem to be very active on Instagram stories, that's all worth noting as well. The second thing you want to look out for is what type of UGC are they reposting or resharing. So UGC, user generated content, that means that there are brands out there that want to be able to repost content that, you know, people like us, content creators, have shared to their pages and share it with their audience as well. So this is exciting and a great way to get a relationship going with a brand, because they might reach out to you and say that they want to repost something you've created on their page. So go and scroll through and see if there is any content that looks like it's user generated. You'll be able to tell. I'll throw up 2 examples on the screen of content clearly created by a brand and content a brand has reposted from a user's profile, just to give you an indication of what to look for. One little call out I want to include here is if a brand ever does approach you and ask to reshare your content on their page, just make sure that you are only agreeing to organic social reshares, and that you're not giving the brand permission to use this image in marketing, in email newsletters, in billboards, etc., etc. Sometimes you'll get those comments that say like, reply #yes and read our terms here. Some people don't read the terms. Don't be one of those people. It's not worth it to give away all of your rights to that content to the brand for free, but if they just want to reshare your image on their page and they want to give you credit, usually it's a great exposure opportunity for you. So say yes and no at your own discretion, but I did just want to give you guys a heads up that some of those comments and some of those Instagram DMs might sneak in something about using your image in paid social or marketing materials. If you want to learn more about usage and what that means from a brand, I do actually have this video right here where I define a few terms that you'll typically see in influencer agreements or contracts that you'll definitely want to watch after you finish this video. Another thing I want you to do is take note if there are any hashtags in the brand's bio, because those are typically the hashtags that they will encourage community members, customers, and content creators to use in their own content. So check and see if there are any hashtags in the bio of the brand. You'll definitely want to make note of those and come back to those later. And the last thing I want you to do is to tap into the following tab of the brand, and if they are following any hashtags, those will populate at the top. So you can pull from those and make note of any relevant hashtags that you might include in your content. And if the brand is following that hashtag, there's a higher chance that they will actually see your content on Instagram when you post it and use that hashtag. So after you've created and edited your content, and now you're getting ready to post your content on Instagram, there are a few best practices that I want you to do before you actually hit publish. So first and foremost is to tag the brand both in the content itself. You can tag brands in videos and images, and also tag them in the caption of your post, just because that way you'll show up in their tagged photos on their profile, and they might also get a notification or 2 notifications back to back in their notification tab that you have created content that involves them. And if you tag them in a caption, that will take up more space in their notification tab, so there might be a better chance that they'll see you that way. Make sure when you post your content that you're using any relevant hashtags that you found from the search earlier, just because, again, the brand is probably looking through those hashtags every single day to see which photos and which users are creating content for their brand. So it's an easy win and great way to get in front of the brand. I just want to point out that Instagram has recently said that their best practice for captions, or sorry, for hashtags, is to put them in the caption, not in the comments. I will link down below to the blog post on Instagram's blog where they talk about that recommendation. So once you actually go and hit publish on the post, then I would recommend sharing that post to your Instagram stories and tagging any of the brands that you mentioned in that post. And of course, if you're creating stories first content, then tag the brand in your story. And after you do that, I would give the brand up to 24 hours to respond to your story. I typically think that the ultimate goal of any of this should be getting a brand to reply to you on Instagram DM to then open up your thread of conversation with them. Because when, especially for verified accounts, if you just tag the brand, it's possible that it might go into their general folder instead of their main Instagram DM folder. And so your goal is to get them to reply to you. And even if it's just them sending a heart, now that thread of communication is open and you're not going to go into their spam folder or they're not going to miss your message. You know, once you've talked to them once, you're at such an advantage because now you have that direct thread of communication with a brand. So that's the best way to open up the door, whatever you decided your initial goal was, whether you want to become an affiliate for that brand or go to events with them or potentially work together on a partnership later on. Having the door open with that DM conversation is the first step to achieving any of those things. So think about what will get the brand to respond to your content. And maybe it's a big brand and you won't get a reply. For example, I don't know if I've ever gotten a reply from Maybelline, even though I tag them a lot on Instagram stories. But maybe a smaller brand or a brand I'm an affiliate for or have a relationship will get back to me faster. You could always try sending them the post. I mean, for example, today I am wearing the Wander Beauty brow gel. So maybe I would take a selfie of my makeup, tag them, post it to my story, and then send them that post and say, hey guys, wearing the Frame Your Face brow gel today in clear, absolutely love that stuff. If you guys ever have any influencer activations or events coming up in New York City, like I'd love to stay in the loop. I'm local to that area and it would be great to get to meet you guys in person. Like boom, if my goal is to attend events thrown by Wander Beauty, that's a great segue into it because it shows that I've created great content, I like their products, and I know how to send a message that says exactly what I'm asking for. I mean, if I were the Wander PR person, I would respond to that DM. Another little thing that I wanted to say is that I think Instagram DM is a great place to begin a conversation with a brand, but I find email to be the easiest and also most professional way of communicating with brands. So once you have a few messages back and forth with a brand, I would recommend trying to move it over to email. One thing that I always say is I don't want the message to get lost in my DMs, and if we could move it over to email, I would really appreciate that. So definitely try to move the conversation to email because that way you could also potentially get on like their, newsletters or mailing lists or get PR information when they launch new products and things like that too. So I know we covered a lot today, but if you're feeling really hyped after watching this video and you want even more tips about how to set yourself up for success on social media, I do have an entire free guide for you guys called the Influencer Launchpad. It's something I developed earlier this year and I've gotten really good feedback from you guys about it so far. This guide is great if you are looking for help in terms of finding your why as an influencer, developing your content pillars and a consistent posting schedule, and even some tips for how to take great photos just with your iPhone. So if any of that interests you, if you are looking for a little bit more information, you can grab your free guide from austentosone.com/subscribe. I will also leave a link to the Influencer Launchpad down below in the description box of this video to make it super, super easy for you to grab it. And that just about covers it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed today's video and you're not yet a subscriber, I would love for you to become one. Just hit the red button down below. I publish new videos every Tuesday. And if you ever have requests for videos, please leave them in the comments down below, or you can even send me a DM over on Instagram. I love getting to talk to you all over there too. And please also don't forget to like this video if you learned something today. That helps my channel and lets me know what kind of content you guys are enjoying the most. Thanks again for watching. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye.
I've tried sometimes, but you're making me nervous. No, I've realized that I can't live without you.